Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Ring my bell, ring it. All right, what is going on, everybody? Sorry I'm coming at you so late. It's Sunday, right? Today's Sunday. I was surprised the other day. I thought like it was like freaking Friday or Saturday or something like that. I don't know. I'm missing a day or two here. Anyways, so I've discussed with you guys, or I've said this a couple of times. I like the paranormal stuff. I have tried a lot of paranormal things before. They were everywhere, like Taps. You remember them? I used to have a crush on the girl on Taps, Chris Williams. She was pretty dang hot. Anyways, before I go into all that, all the ghost hunting shows, none of that was really about. So I always used to visit this page, Shadowlands Ghost page, and I remember getting all my friends together, going out and buying camcorders, freaking audio recorders, and all that. And we go and visit the scariest town in Colorado, which is Georgetown. And it's more like a touristy destination, but you see all the desolate, homes for its time. It was pretty much just another one of those pop-up towns for the mining. And once the mining ran out, they just up and left. But a few settled there, a few stayed, and now it's just like I said, a touristy spot. People will go up there, and you have your little shops, things like that. But I don't know how many lives offhand were reported to have been taken there from, mine accidents, drunken brawls, killings, things of that nature. But it's dubbed the most haunted city in Colorado, or town. So we decided to go look at the 100-foot cemetery. So weird because the cemetery is built on an incline 100 feet. And, have the night mode on and everything. My best friend at the time, and I always say my best friend at the time, is more like he used to be like my brother. That's how close we were. But he had seen a lot of shit growing up. And partially because, one, his mom played the Ouija board by herself and would only call on good spirits. She'd play the Ouija board with him when he was a child. And her house she was loaded. Her and the stepdad, like, she had a spiral staircase coming from the middle of her room to, like, the main level. And then she had, like, a freaking jet tub, and then, like, a huge rainfall shower like thing, and then a freaking 125-foot long saltwater fish tank, and then a sauna room, all in her bedroom. This is just a bedroom alone. And then a multi-level greenhouse. And she would play the Ouija board in the middle of her greenhouse. I mean, back in 1997, I would say this is. I mean, that house is probably worth 5-6 million, somewhere around there. I mean, gorgeous house. I absolutely loved that house. But while he lived there, he said he experienced a lot of strange and seen a lot of strange shit. So he went and moved with his dad. And his dad's house was fucking... He had a wall, I kid you not, about a 30-foot wall with baseballs that were inside... what do you call it? They're inside these, glass cubes that were graded and everything. Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, any athlete you could think of, he had. And I mean, I was just like, my goodness, man, this. And he used to get a lot of their autographs because he would always do security. You know how cops supplement some of their money by working, sporting events, things like that. Well, since he ended up getting in internal affairs because he was a detective for years, you know, the seniority, man, he had, his first crack at it, and like, knew all the players by names. And it was cool too because when the Chicago Bulls played, got to go in the, both locker rooms, meet Jordan. That was like cool as hell. I mean, that was awesome. And we got to go there for one of the hockey games. I'm not big on hockey, and the Avs just won, the last Stanley Cup. But I'm not really big on hockey. I'm not going to pretend to be a Mayweather fan. But it was so cool because I never realized they have like holes cut out in the glass for a lot of the cameras for when they're doing for ESPN cameras or for any camera that they're when they're shooting the game for those up close shots. And I mean, I just couldn't fathom how fast those guys were actually moving. I mean, I was like, holy shit. And we sat right by the glass, so that was a trip like none other. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the game, but I respect those dudes' athleticism because they are something else. But anyways, to get back to the point, the 100-foot cemetery, my friend's mom playing the Ouija board, him playing the Ouija board. I talk about this incident that had happened that shook my family, where I got a chance to talk to Art Bell about it on Coast to Coast AM. Um, it was just fucked up. And last night, I've never seen something, okay? I've never seen something with my own two eyes. I've seen some after effects of something that was purported to be, but I've never seen anything. I've heard weird things from time to time, but easily could write them off. Now, I have insomnia real bad. So, anyone who has insomnia, you guys know how it is. It sucks. I mean, you could be thinking about shit that happened fucking in high school and feel bad about it when you're trying to go to bed. And last night I get up and I'm like, you know what? I hadn't eaten all day long. I was like, I'll go use my skim milk and some fruity pebbles. So I fill that bowl up to the brim, pour in my skim milk. It's my one meal of the day. And I'm sitting there eating. And I don't live in a townhome. I don't live in an apartment. I live in a house. Outside is all brick. The garage. So we have like where we where we built the garage. We had it built like maybe we have a fence here like a hardcore iron gate fence, and we built the garage about maybe 30-40 feet away from that iron gate. And then when I took sole ownership of the house, I just, locked up the gate, and I don't, need to park in the garage. Nobody's going to break into my car or anything. So there's no way that you could knock on any wood, because if somebody got through on one side of the gate, well, they would still have to open the door, and the door, got the screen doors are locked, and both screen doors are heavy iron metal doors, and you could hear those bitches open. I mean, they're tough to open, but when they open them, then you could get to some, the door and knock, and they're, thick wood doors. They're not just, your hollow wood doors. They're the thick, wood doors. So at about 3:05 or so, I'm enjoying my cereal, thinking about pouring me another bowl, and I just hear but like fast, and I'm like, I jump up, and the first thing I think of is like, is that like the fucking cops looking for somebody who's like running around here, or is that like some fucking weirdo or something? And I go out and I peek outside, and there's nobody there. Nobody there at all. And so I look down the street, and nobody, like I said, I knew immediately nobody could have freaking hit the wood because the doors were closed and locked. And I didn't start dwelling on it until later. Like, that shit came from inside the house. And it sounded like it came from the living room. But I mean, I don't know. So my house is up for sale, so there is a lockbox on there. So I'm gonna grab my shotgun tonight and go clear the basement with some freaking flashbangs, like ready, get this bitch through, pop! Go in there and just start making sure no one's down there. Because I swear to God, if there is, oh, there isn't. I know there isn't. But in talking about all this, my boy, I like him, one of my favorites, came out with the new video. His uploading schedule has been a little crazy lately. I don't know why, but let's get to it. It is Nuke's top 5. So I kind of fudged up on the first recording, so I got partway to it, but we're gonna start from the beginning.
Right.
So here we go.
From the Dark Doorway. Popular Japanese ghost hunters Hiro and Tomo from the YouTube channel Omagatoki Film travel to a mysterious abandoned house that is said to be extremely haunted. The story goes that years ago a married couple was living in the house. The wife descended into madness, and late one night in a fit of rage, she violently took her husband's life. And then she took her own. These days the house has been abandoned for over 10 years. No one goes near the place, and it is believed that some evil presence haunts the home. But that doesn't stop the Omagatoki film team. Investigators Hiro and Tomo vow to spend the night and explore the infamously haunted house. Eventually, the two guys decide to split up. Hiro goes back to the car and Tomo stays to explore the second floor. As Tomo looks around, he finds an opening into the attic. There he finds old clothes and pictures of a family that once lived there. Tomo calls Hiro to tell him what he's found.